Is that Rich Franklin?
It is.
Straight from Cincinnati or Dayton?
Yeah, he was on hold enjoying the Ben & Jerry's bit.
The Toledo, Ohio's finest. Did you enjoy that little phone call we had there, Rich Franklin?
Your guy, Spice came on and was like, hello, and I thought it was all part of the skit, so I'm sitting here listening. and I think he thought I hung up or disconnected or something.
You want to get a hold of some of Grandpa's asshole ice cream is what you're trying to get, huh?
Yeah, I think, were those legit phone calls you guys made?
Yeah, we really did. We really did call Ben and Jerry's. They got a new, Ned, is it a hubby kind of deal?
Hubby. Gay marriage thing.
Gay marriage ice cream. And so, they are, and unfortunately they are legitimate, yes.
That I don't know if that's unfortunate or not, but it's funny.
I think it is quite funny. I mean, it's a little bit a little bit shocking, but that's what we do.
Awesome.
So what do you got going on, buddy?
Hey man, I don't know if you heard, but I had hernia surgery here recently.
Right. That's when
about a week ago.
Yeah, it was only a week ago, huh?
Yeah. So I'm in a state of I'm almost in a catatonic state. I'm sitting here bored to death out of my mind because I can't hardly do anything, and I got at least probably another 4.5 to 5 weeks of this.
Now, where do they when they got your hernia deal? Did they cut your asshole or anything, or are they just your stomach?
I thought they go down by your balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so fun. I think when you're I think you're talking about hemorrhoids. But no, I actually had a hernia in my entire belly button was separating from my stomach lining, and I had a slight tear in my abdominal wall above the belly button.
Yeah, that's what happened to my buddy Morgan, and like literally his ball sack started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I like to get that.
Yeah, he had been moving some furniture around. Next thing you know, sure enough, his intestines were basically falling out of his body, so they have to go in there and they got to put a mesh net in there and tuck them all back inside. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it depends on how long you go before you catch it. Unfortunately for me, I caught mine in the early stage. I actually noticed that my belly button was separating last year sometime at the beginning of the year. I don't know if it was before or after the Dan Henderson fight when I was training, but I started noticing it. And it progressively got worse. And I didn't know what it was. And finally I spoke to a doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, you actually have an umbilical tear, and come to find out that when we took care of things, I have vertical tear leading down to the belly button. But it was like one of those things where if you could actually take my belly button and push it back into where it was supposed to be. And
that's kind of hot, huh? Ned, you'd probably get off on that kind of deal, wouldn't you?
So your intestines didn't fall down to your balls, at least.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what, honestly, if I woke up tomorrow and my balls were a little bit bigger, I don't think that I would be concerned. I would just thank God.
Now, when you fight, you wear a cup though, in case you get kicked in the balls, don't you?
I wear a steel cup, yes.
Oh, it's not even a plastic one, a steel one.
No, it's one of those Muay Thai cups with the string that goes right up the crack of your butt.
Oh, right, the crack of your head.
Like a thong.
Yeah, it is actually. It's like a man thong. And it's to be honest, like at the same time you're fighting, but you get kind of pleasure out of it because it's massaging.
So it's kind of
it's got your prostate.
So it's kind of flossing your asshole a little bit.
It is. It almost like it's rope, and so it's not wet, but it feels almost like just like a dry.
A dry rope on your. You can say it. It's a dry rope on my asshole, and I like it. You can say that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've ever been licked by a cow before, but like the tongue is real, like feels like sandpaper.
Yeah.
Man, we
get licked by women. I don't know about you.
Like a cow tongue up your ass.
What's that, Ned? I'm sorry.
He says it's like a cow tongue licking your asshole.
Now, how would you know what a cow tongue licking your asshole unless you've explored those parameters, Ned?
Well, I have.
Well, I know.
I think Rich has too.
You might have been the only guy in the room that got the joke. Now, Rich,
and he has no response to that.
Well, Rich, you're the one that brought the topic up. Have you ever had a tongue? Have you ever had a cow tongue on your asshole before?
Not a cow tongue, no.
Oh, see, Brent, see what you're missing? Now, see, we just discussed this topic earlier. Brent's wife, Amanda, has never licked his asshole, and so we called her up, and she agreed to lick his asshole tonight, so it's going to be a first for him. Brent, look at it's all the craze. Even Rich Franklin, champion of the world, has got his asshole licked.
That's true.
By a woman, I hope.
Well, definitely not a cow. I'll just put it that way.
Right. Now, you had to turn down the fight with Forrest Griffin last year, and do you think that that might be, when you return from your hernia surgery, the first thing on your deck?
I don't know. The UFC actually contacted me about fighting in late May, but I took a couple after my fight, I took some time off. Of course, I had a medical suspension for a little while, and then I started training a little bit, not like I train, normally for a fight or whatever, but, I was training. And so since my hernia surgery, I will have at least 8 to 9 weeks down, and that's if everything goes as according to plan. So when they contacted me, I basically just said, look, I'm not sure I can get ready in time for a May 29th fight. So at this point in time, I don't know when my next fight will be, but I mean that seems to be the fight that all the fans want to see. So I don't know. We'll see what they come back to me with. But
I would agree. I mean, that's a chance for everybody to see two guys going at it banging. But when you get a medical suspension like that, do you look at that as a good thing or a bad thing? Because on one hand, it's some time off, but on the other hand, it's kind of setting you back a little bit. How do medical suspensions affect you?
Well, the thing is that after every fight, you get a medical suspension regardless. Your medical suspension could be like 30 days. I think 30 days is a standard medical suspension. Like, basically, that's their way of saying, like, you just fought, we don't want you fighting for another 30 days.
Right.
And it just depends on the severity of your injuries. I mean, basically, whatever injury you have, if you suffer a knockout or something like that, then they're obviously going to give you the appropriate amount of time off for your head to recover. Or if you break a hand, like when I broke my hand in the Waza fight, it was going to take like 6 months for that hand to heal properly. And the doctors that suspend you know that, so they're going to give you a 6-month suspension. And I mean, of course, if you get a medical suspension, all that stuff can be lifted once you've been checked out by a doctor. I had one fight, I don't even remember, I had like hairline fractures in my foot or something. And because of that, I got I don't know, a 4-month suspension or whatever. But after like 2 months, I went and had x-rays done, everything was fine. And so doctor sent in the report, and the athletic commission lifted the suspension.
Let me ask you this. I was seeing this thing on HBO Real Sports about concussions and NFL players and boxers and the long-term effects of it, and it looks pretty bad. Do you ever worry about concussions and being hit to the head and the long-term effects it might have?
I think about that, and I think about it more now that I'm 35 instead of 25. And especially this year for the NFL has just been horrible. I don't know if I'm just more aware of the fact, or if they're showing this stuff more often than ESPN News or whatever. But it seems to me like the number of concussions this year have just exponentially increased as opposed to any previous year in the NFL. And I think about it, but typically, you get a concussion, you're going to go in, get an MRI done or a CAT scan or whatever, the proper medical treatment, and then basically you have to look at that kind of stuff over a period of time. And I've had MRIs done on my head probably longer than 10 years ago. And at some point in time, if a doctor were to look at an MRI and say, "Look, we're starting to see some stuff here that's just not good," I would seriously reconsider my fight career from that point on.
Now, it looks like Brock may be, maybe cleared, or at least, appears to be cleared to train. That's got to be,